Hey guys, it's Miss Hinky. I wanted to introduce our new project for Sculpture 1 through Sculpture 4. We're going to be working with a new material this next week and a half, and that's going to be aluminum foil. If you don't have aluminum foil at home or enough aluminum foil that you can use it for this project, alternatively you could work with paper, but I will say that aluminum foil holds its form in a different way than paper does. So if you have it or you are able to get it, then that would be great. And if not, and you have problems, let me know and we'll work around it. I hope everybody had a great spring break, even though it's maybe not what we had anticipated for spring break. I definitely understand. We were supposed to go on a student trip to go to London and Paris, and so definitely Dawsonville is not that, but we have a lot of things to be thankful for, and so I hope that you're able to reflect on that. And if you need to talk or you feel like you're struggling, let me know, because I'm here for you. All right, so just like normal, I'll have a video on the second slide. This video that we're going over right now, this will be here so that if you're not able to hop into the live classes that we have, then you're able to go through the video at your own pace, pause it, replay it, whatever. And I'll put that here after I finish recording. So I am, like most other projects we have, I'm going to introduce the design problem that we're going to have, what your objective is for the assignment, and then we'll talk about some relevant artists that are currently working that relate to what we're doing, and you guys will work in your sketchbooks before you start a piece. So the artist that I wanted to present to you is Toshihiko Mitsuya, and I have his website linked right here on his name like normal, so you can click on that and go check it out. But he's a currently working artist that has a degree in sculpture, and he actually lives in Berlin now, although he was born in Japan, and he creates work out of aluminum foil. Some of his sculptures that require a little bit more stability have a thicker grade aluminum foil, like a foil sheet that you would use for metal tooling. But a lot of his pieces are made out of just kitchen grade aluminum foil that you have in your kitchen right now. It's definitely a little more fragile if you're using one sheet, but you can double up the sheets of aluminum to make them stronger if you need stability to build up a taller form. And we'll talk about that. But I wanted to show you guys Mitsuya as a inspiration for what you can create with foils. So these are some pieces that to me are very heavily textured, and you can see a lot of different things in this work, almost fabric draping here, individual pieces cut and then reattached together with, if you zoom in on this, you can see that there are little grommets where each of these little foil plates are attached together. It's woven into chain. Everything is created with the foil. All of the hair on this horse, think about like what you could use that's in your house. Pliers maybe that you have in the garage. You can use regular scissors. Foil actually sharpens scissors when you cut through foil. It's a way that people sharpen dull scissors is by cutting foil. So it's not going to hurt your scissors. You can use your scissors to cut and get like strands of hair like this, or maybe grass in a sculpture. The movement in this flag up here, just by taking that foil and then draping it like fabric, and then it holds its form. It's a really versatile sculpture medium, and it's actually really commonly used in armatures for pieces that you wouldn't use it inside of a clay piece that you're going to fire because you wouldn't want to put aluminum in the kiln, but you can use it to paper mache around or whatever because of the fact that it holds its form. You can crimp it and shape it into whatever form you want, and then cover it with your material, but in this case, obviously, we're leaving it exposed. You can see all these different shapes here that have like a woven sort of look that you could create with this. So you can cut it, you can weave it, you can braid it, you can layer it, you can fringe it. There's all different things that you can do with foil. It's actually a really versatile material that you just have in your kitchen, most likely. So I wanted to show you some of these pieces. The amount of detail and the texture is just pretty unbelievable, what he's able to achieve. And a lot of his has a particular theme to it, but some of his more recent work is also based on nature versus warriors and creatures, like these pieces. So you can see like in the elephant ear leaves, the veining that you can get, these big banana leaves, the line work that you can get. And so one of the things I want you to think about when you start thinking about creating your own piece, the theme is totally open-ended. I want you to create something representational, so it's not abstract. It should be representing something. But think about what kind of tools can you use in your home. What can you press the foil on to pick up a texture? Embossing is a technique where, whether you're doing it on paper or metal or whatever surface it is, you're using something underneath your surface and you're pressing your artistic surface, whether it's paper or metal, into the negative spaces of it. So you could take your foil outside and lay rocks down on the ground and then press your foil around it to get sort of a rocky, pebbly texture. Or you could take branches from trees and lay those down and then press your foil over it. If you have lace, like on a dress in your closet or whatever, you could lay your foil down over that and then use something soft like a cotton ball to rub to press the foil gently down into the negative spaces. And you can recreate any of those textures to use into your pieces. So I've got a couple of slides kind of going over the objectives for the assignment. The first thing is your sketchbook page. So I want you to do a little bit of research. Find someone, an artist that inspires you, not the one that I just presented. It does not have to be an artist that uses foil, but it should be a sculptor. Okay, and then I want you to come up with your own unique idea, and it could be inspired by their style, or it could just be your own style of what you want to create. Okay, it could be a plant in a pot, it could be a sculpture of a person, it could be a sculpture of an animal, it could be a landscape, it could be a structure like a house, whatever you want to create for your piece. And then I would encourage you to play around with a little bit of the foil to kind of see what it can do. Is it strong enough to create what you want just by itself, or doubling it up and then using it by itself? Or do you need to wrap it around some sort of armature? And remember, an armature is the interior structure that helps the sculpture hold its form. So you could use scraps of cardboard and then wrap them with the foil. Or like, say you have hot glue, you could take paper or thin cardboard like a cereal box, and then you could take hot glue and cut out your cardboard like the shape of leaves, almond shapes, and then hot glue in the veins and the lines. And then when you press your foil over the top, you've got all this texture and detail that's already there. So think about what can you put on the inside of it, whether it's Q-tips or shish kebab skewers or wire or things that you find outside. What can you use as an interior structure to wrap the foil around? So you are going to be thinking about what you want to make, and you need to pick an artist that inspires you for your work. And you're going to make one sketchbook page of some things about that artist, some aspects about that artist, like we normally do for artist inspiration. And then you're going to make a sketch of what you want your artwork to look like. Okay? So we'll have a sketchbook page, and we'll have some progress photos of your work, and then also the finished work that we end up turning in. So here's some details on what I just talked about. Okay, sketching out your ideas, what you think it's going to look like. We know that things change sometimes as you're working through the process. So you're going to be turning in, your first due date will be turning in your plan and your artist reference. And then you're going to start working with the foil. Okay. So I've got some more inspiration stuff here for you. Here's a video that you guys can watch on your own of someone sculpting a cat and how they created the body part in separate pieces and then attached it together. If you have hot glue especially, that's a really good adhesive to use for foil if you've got hot glue at home. Elmer's glue does not work as well because it doesn't really adhere to the foil as much, but if you have like a paper armature, you could use the white school glue on that. Or even tape, like masking tape or duct tape, and then you could wrap the foil around everything. The tapes don't, and the glue, the Elmer's glue, just they don't work as well on the foil. So work with what you have. Think about what you have. If you don't have skewers or something like that in your kitchen, or toothpicks, go outside and get yourself some sticks. Okay, and you could use those to create, like if you're working on a human form, the torso, the shoulders, the arms, build paper up around it, and then wrap the foil. And the foil will hold all the pieces together even if you don't have any adhesives at home. So part of being an artist is being a problem solver. And with our limited toolbox here of what kind of materials we have, how can you make this work? and don't look at it as so much a stumbling block, but look at it as an artistic problem, like how can you solve these issues. So here's some more images of some different pieces made out of foil. Okay, this is another video that you can watch. An artist, he was doing a sculpture out of one piece of foil of his dog while his dog is sitting there, and I thought it was really interesting and pretty quick. He's obviously practiced it a few times, okay? But an interesting video to watch, so watch that just for some inspiration. And then here are your due dates. So Monday, us coming back, hopefully the storms won't be a problem and we all have access to our computers and devices and Wi-Fi and we can access all this information, but no worries if not. I've built in a little bit of cushion time. Wednesday, April 15th, you're going to have a Google Classroom Dropbox that's available to submit your sketchbook page that has your artist inspiration, your ideas, and a sketched plan for your piece. I would expect that this would take up at least one full page in your sketchbook. And then Friday, the same week, April 17th, you're going to submit progress pictures of your piece. So this is not a finished piece, okay? And if you race through this or you're just really feeling art right now and you want to just work on art, and sometimes like you'll sit for 2 hours and play with something and you like what you have or whatever and it's due way before the due date, well then how can you make it more complex, or can you make multiple pieces that go together for one sort of sculptural installation? So on Friday, April 17th, I want you to turn in some progress pictures, and I want you to turn in at least 3 different photos at different times showing the process of creating your sculpture. So not 3 photos of one stage of the process, okay, so like halfway built and they're 3 photos from different angles. I want you to show like 30 minutes in, and then an hour and a half in, and then 2 hours in. What does it look like as it's growing and as you're adding to it? And then you're going to submit those on Google Classroom on the April 17th date. On Wednesday, April 22nd, I'll have another Flipgrid link, and I'll put it right here on the presentation. I'll have a link right here, or maybe the QR code that you can use, and you're going to go to Flipgrid, and you will upload another video of your piece. This is just like our nature installation that we did, our environmental installation. You're going to upload a video, and I want you to talk about what your goal was with the piece, kind of what you talked about on the sketchbook page, the process of creating your piece, like what worked, what didn't work, how did your plan change, which, parts of your sculpture fell off and then you had to figure out how to reattach them, what was the artistic process, because we know that's always a thing with sculpture for sure, and how you altered that and made it work along the way, okay? So these are all the due dates. That's the last slide on the presentation. And we'll have I'll have some, probably 1 or 2 different group meets next week, and I'll put the links in the planner so that we can meet together live. And on Instagram I'll be posting stuff for you guys. I think probably the most important thing about this whole online learning situation is the fact that we don't get to see each other in person each day. And I think now more than ever, everyone realizes how much that matters. Like, you guys matter to me. It's why I'm a teacher. You're important to me. And so it feels weird not to see you every day and be able to check in person and talk with you all individually. And some of you I haven't seen in our live classes, and that's okay because they're not mandatory, but I hope that you're doing okay. And I just want you to know that even though I'm home and I've got my own kids and I've got multiple different classes every day, I'm here. And if you need somebody to talk to, you can send me a message on It's Learning, or you can message me on Instagram on my Art Room 1420 account, or you can send me an email, and I'd be happy to do like an individual class just to chat with you, or let you know when I have other times where you could hop in with a group chat. So I hope everybody's doing well. Take care of yourself physically and mentally, and make art because it's good for you and you need to create during this time. So if you have questions about the project, let me know, or hop on during our online classes this week. And otherwise, I hope you have a great week, and I will check in with you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.